Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.
Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Sarah Fenske. If you're an influencer who likes to check out the hottest new spots in town, or if you just love great food, well, our friends at Sauce Magazine have you covered. Their monthly hit list is a roundup of the places that opened last month that they recommend with enthusiasm. And this month, we're excited to say, we've got 5 restaurants to talk about. So joining me to talk about the latest openings in the region are managing editor Catherine Claney. Catherine, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Sauce Magazine art director Mira Nagarajan. Mira, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So, Catherine, this was a pretty exciting month for food lovers, and maybe the biggest buzz came from a spot down on Cherokee Street.
Yes, so Bluewood Brewing has finally opened. People who have been our fans of the beer community have seen Bluewood for a few years at several beer festivals, and their beer's always been very popular there, but they didn't have a space for a long time. They finally opened their space at the intersection of Cherokee and Lemp in the former Lemp Brewery, like the historic 19th century Lemp Brewery stables. And that space has been other things over the years. It's been restaurants, it's been a beer bar, but it's a really, really cool venue, and it's been vacant for a while. So it's really cool to see some new life into that space. They are still working on getting their house brewing equipment set up, but they've been contract brewing with a couple local breweries. So they have about half their taps right now are their beers, and the other half are other local options.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And I know there's an even more exciting part of this.
And the other half of it, and this is something that a lot of other people have been really pumped about, is Max Local Eats, which used to be located in Tam Avenue Bar in Dogtown, has relocated to this space. So it's the same menu that everybody knows and know and love, whatever. In Dogtown, it's the same menu. It's the very popular smash burgers that Chris McKenzie, who's the owner, has become known for. And you can essentially order as many smash patties as you can handle on a bun. They also have a really great veggie burger option.
I love it.
Mira is vegetarian.
Is that an Impossible Burger or Beyond?
It's a house-made patty.
Oh, house-made.
Yeah,
wow.
and it's like it's got that lacy crust, that edge that you like, that crispy edge that you like on a smash burger, but it's got a ton of flavor, and it's got the mustard, pickle, onion, so it's got like all the right flavors. It's so good.
And I've done many I've tried to make many veggie burgers at home before, and getting a patty to hold together like that thin is crazy. I don't know how they do that.
I feel like Chris McKenzie is sort of this genius chef. I mean, that Max Local Eats in Dogtown, I feel like, was the favorite place of people who know good food and don't mind a more casual atmosphere. I mean, people just adored that place.
And he sources very locally. His Max Local Buys, which is sort of a shopping component to what he was doing. There's a little shop inside Bluewood now as well where that's located. You can purchase a lot of local eggs and pasta and condiments, and just they're really trying to support local producers and local artisans as well. So you can go in, get locally made beer, a local burger made from local ingredients, and then also pick up things to go. I know we picked up dog treats made from a local brewery, Spent Grain, the other day. So there's a lot of really cool things happening in that space.
What a great
now.
option on Cherokee. That's
Absolutely
amazing. Now, the other thing that everyone has been freaking out about is Taco Circus. Mira, how is this new and retooled Taco Circus different from the old one?
Well, it's a lot bigger than the old space.
Huge.
We used to go there and get tacos and breakfast tacos. It's like kind of a birthday taco celebration thing that we have at the office. If it's somebody's birthday, we would love to get stuff from there.
That's a good office.
Yes, it is. And so this space is much bigger. It's still got that bright color energy. It's like a pink walls and yellow walls, and they've got all these bright picnic tables on their patio outside. But they have like a few new things, like they're doing a matcha salsa, which is kind of like a nutty, spicy salsa. They have a new queso. It's their queso compuesto with ground beef and pico de gallo. And then they're also, I think they wanted to incorporate more vegetarian options also. And they're doing like a potato and plant-based meat taco, which is really cool. And right now, their hours are from 5 to 11 p.m.
And they used to be known for their breakfast offerings. I want to cry
hearing they're going to still do that. They still have breakfast tacos on their menu, I believe.
I don't think they do right now, but they're going to be adding those back in.
They're doing brunch from 9 to 1 on Saturday and Sunday in the future. So they're going to have like breakfast burritos and migas and chilaquiles. So I'm sure I think happen.
Because they also launched a bar program in addition to the new space, which is it's massive. The patio's huge. If anybody's ever been to the old Three Flags Tavern space, it's that space. So the patio's massive. The menu's huge. They also launched a bar program. So I think they're just trying to do some things in phases so they don't burn out right away.
Yeah, and it is their first late night thing too.
They also want to do the late night thing.
So they want to be open until like 1:30 a.m. and have like wings and loaded fries in addition to other menu items. So and then speaking of their bar program, they have some really cool signature drinks like their pina colada. They're doing a house margarita. They're doing a spicy mezcal margarita. So like we're excited about that aspect of it also.
It sounds like these awesome new drinks will help me get over the brief period in which one cannot get a breakfast taco.
And in short order, it sounds like you can get a breakfast taco and a Bloody Mary, which is never a bad plan.
Yeah, that seems like a bonus. Now, one question on that one. I know they had previously been a counter service kind of place. Are they doing full service at this point?
Full table service now, yeah.
Okay, so that is also an exciting development.
Right, yeah. I mean, they went from a teeny little place on in Bevo with counter service and maybe like 2 tiny tables inside and a couple picnic tables outside to this massive full-scale restaurant, and it's very exciting to see.
And certainly the buzz around that is huge.
Yes, there was much rejoicing on the internets when I posted the article that they were open.
Now, this next place we want to talk about, I happen to live right down the street from it, and I can tell you this place has been packed since the minute they opened their doors. We've got some just food lovers in this town are going crazy. Tell us about the new option, Catherine, in Lafayette Square.
Mayo ketchup. So for people who are not familiar with mayo ketchup, just sounds like a weird name for a restaurant. It's actually a very popular condiment in Puerto Rican and sort of that Caribbean island area. It's a very popular condiment. Like you can buy a Heinz bottle of mayo ketchup. It's a very popular condiment down there.
So delicious.
And it's the first brick and mortar concept from Mandy Estrella, who's better known as Plantain Girl. And people have seen her around town for several years. She's always done catering. She for a while ran the kitchen inside Alpha Brewing. She ran the Good Bowl, which was inside the Doghouse in Soulard, but it's always been that Caribbean, Puerto Rican, Cuban influenced style of food. This is her first solo operation, and it's located inside the former Cantina Laredo space, right at that intersection of Mississippi and Park in Lafayette
Laredo
Square.
On Lafayette.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Cantina
There's too
Laredo's
many Laredos in town.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah,
yes, Laredo on Lafayette. Thank you.
So it's that great little space kind of overlooking the park.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's got a lot of seating inside. It's got some great little park area seating right out there. And it is counter service, so you go in and you can get a bunch of dishes that you've seen in various iterations on other menus of hers around town. We really liked the buffalo tostones. A lot of things, obviously, that she does deal with plantains, but these are twice fried plantains that are then soused in a buffalo hot sauce. And they somehow managed to keep their crispiness, but also still be covered in sauce. They're fantastic. The Habrito sandwich is think like a sandwich, like a meat steak sandwich with pork sandwich, your choice. But then instead of buns, you have smashed fried plantains as a sandwich. I don't know that it actually holds up as a sandwich all that well sometimes, but knife and fork it. It's a good time. But yeah, those are both really great options. She also does a lot of bowls. So the base is a rice and bean thing. There's usually some plantains on the side, and then you can choose there's a vegetarian option or there's roasted meat options. We really liked the pernil, which is a really nice roasted pork option with some Puerto Rican style rice and peas, and then of course there's plantains on just about everything. So
yeah, it's a really good menu. I gotta say, you can't help it when you live down the street. You have to go multiple times.
Well, and there's not a lot of fast casual options in that area. The Lafayette area has a lot more sit-down table service dining. So it's nice to have something a little faster, a little, just pop in, grab a bite, and you can probably be out of there in half an hour, 45 minutes, as opposed to a full sit-down service meal.
And I think, frankly, the neighborhood was dying for having that fast casual. And that's
Exactly.
one reason there's these lines out the door. So moving to St. Louis County, Mira, tell us about C. Oliver Coffee and Flower Bar.
Isn't that so great?
It is great. I love it.
There's nothing like it. It's 2 women, co-owners and longtime friends, Olivia Medina and Alyssa Schuler. They decided to combine their respective interests, coffee and flowers, and they revamped the former Orbit Pinball Lounge into this beautiful, bright coffee shop with marble-top tables. They have this huge coffee bar inside, and they're carrying local roaster sump coffee for all their coffee drinks. And so they make traditional espresso beverages, but they're also doing a couple specialty drinks. One of them that we really loved was their Oliver's Tart Tonic, which is espresso, tonic water, lime juice, cherry juice over ice. So think like a chocolate covered strawberry. And it's effervescent and bright and fresh. And they're also collaborating with La Patisserie Chouquette to do some custom macaron, like a lavender vanilla one and then a vanilla rose, which is perfect with coffee. And the flower thing, I mean, I just think it is so wonderful. It's such a great concept. They have a little flower bar on the back wall, so you can get grab-and-go bouquets.
Grab-and-go bouquets. I love this.
But if you're feeling crafty, I think you're also able to make your own bouquet if you want.
That is so adorable. I don't think I've ever heard of another business combining those two things. Catherine, is this something you've seen?
Not that I've heard, and I think it's really smart. You know, you pop in, grab a cup of coffee. Maybe you're on your way to a friend's house, or you just want to bring a little something, or just a little something to brighten your day. It's a nice little added expense, and it's just but it's not outrageous. It's a fun little thing to do, and then you can have them for a couple of days. It's cute.
Yeah, this sounds like a great little to-go. And then, okay, so our final and fifth place that we're talking about is also in St. Louis County. That's Charred Crust. Catherine, tell me about this.
So this is a lunch for now. I think they are planning to expand for dinner, a space that opened up in the former Cafe Manhattan space. So this is co-owners Andrew Simon and James Fleming. They have built even though it's called Charred Crust, they don't want to bill it just as a pizzeria. They actually also do pasta and sandwiches. They do a sourdough based crust that they make in house, and it's a really nice base. It's got a nice sort of sourdoughy fermented quality to it. We really liked the sausage and garlic sandwich with their charred tomato sauce. They really try to use the oven that they have in there to really get some nice roasted quality on things. We loved the focaccia bread. Right? Like
yes.
the focaccia bread that their sandwiches go on. You can order different options, but get the focaccia because that was the best one. The 3-meat sandwich, if you're feeling particularly ravenous that day. Hot copa, smoked turkey, shaved ham. But then the vegetarian sandwich was really nice,
good.
too.
It was charred squash, oyster mushrooms, pesto, mozzarella. And the focaccia is so good because it's super, it's light and it's soft, but it's sturdy enough. So when you bite into it, it doesn't
fall apart on you.
It doesn't fall apart. And they grill it, I think, on a flat top or something with olive oil, so it's got that beautiful burnished crust.
But I love when a sandwich, when you get a sandwich and you can pull off a piece of just the bread and the bread itself tastes great. It just makes it I love when the bread is not an afterthought on a sandwich.
Yes.
There's really some thought put into it, and the bread itself tastes great. It holds up to the sandwich that it's supporting, but it still has a really tender crumb that I think a lot of focaccia can get really tough sometimes. It was really nice.
Now, I believe you described this as a lunch spot. Are they just doing lunch?
I believe, and I need to check more recently, but I believe right now they are only doing lunch, and then I think they may transition to dinner as they get going.
Yeah, last I checked, it was 11 to 4 Monday to Friday.
Right. Okay. Which makes sense for that Clayton crowd.
So if you want to check that out,
spot.
that's Charred Crust in Clayton. Catherine Claney and Mira Nagarajan, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.
The Gateway brings you the day's news from the St. Louis region and across Missouri. It also includes stories from the Illinois side of the river and our Metro East reporter, Will Bauer.
In Alton, in Belleville, in East St. Louis, in Edwardsville, in Cahokia Heights, at Scott Air Force Base, I'm Will Bauer, St. Louis Public Radio.
Listen to reports from Will and all of our journalists weekdays on the Gateway, on the STLPR app, and wherever you get podcasts.